Okay, let me start by just saying that I did not hate my job. Well, not exactly. And I did not have any of those big burnouts and decided to change my life once and for all. Not at all. None of this was in my 5 or even 10-year plan. Everything happened in a way that I least expected. Did it feel scary? Hell yes. Did I have doubts? Absolutely. Did my inner voice tell me off for this? Absolutely, it was screaming at me. But it was one of those moments that no matter how hard you plan, you simply cannot predict. You know that saying, go with the flow? Well, I used to roll my eyes at it. I firmly believed that if you don't take matters into your own hands, nothing would ever happen. Well, I still believe this to a certain extent today. But there comes a time when trust in the universe can make a big difference. The first time the idea of changing career even crossed my mind, I must have been around 30. I thought, hang on a minute, do I really want to stay in this rat race forever? Climbing that corporate ladder, trying to chase this big boss type of position, trying to earn all the money in the world, was it really something that I wanted? At the time, my husband and I were deep into our self-development phase. We went to Tony Robbins' seminar. Yes, one of those. And I went and did the whole life coaching diploma. And we started reading all the right books, doing all the right things. And we thought, okay, we can really change our lives and build something unconventional for ourselves. And honestly, we thought that we've got it all figured out. The plan was simple. I would stick with my banking job for a bit, and then I will start building up my life coaching practice on the side. And one day I would gracefully exit the shiny glass office in London City and call myself a glamorous title entrepreneur. But, spoiler alert, it did not go exactly that way. First, there came a point where I had to admit something to myself, which I really did not want to. I realized that I was just not the type of person who would thrive in a corporate career. And honestly, it felt like a massive defeat. Because I spent years trying to fit in. I spent years learning, trying to understand how to be better, how to become that type of person who could thrive in this environment, and it felt like such a massive waste of my energy and time. But yes, for me, knowing that corporate career was just not for me was hard. I had to accept it and admit it to myself. It felt like a huge personal failure at the time. And after everything that I invested into it, walking away felt like I just had not made it. And when your self-worth is so wrapped up in your job, and let's be honest, for most of us it could be a really tough pill to swallow. So after that big reality check, I had to shift my perspective on work. I started telling myself that, okay, maybe it's not about the career, maybe I should look at work as something that is temporary, something that helps me pay my bills and is a stepping stone for something bigger to come in the future. But guess what? This type of mindset does not necessarily fill you up with joy. There was still this big void, like I was craving something bigger, something meaningful, something that made sense, not just on paper, but also deep down. And that's when I decided to give life coaching a go. I switched from a permanent role to contracting, 6 months on, 6 months off. I had a lot more freedom, no benefits, no job security, but I absolutely loved it for a while because it gave me a lot of time and mind space to work on my other goals. Then, well, you know what's coming. Pandemic hit and turned everyone's world upside down. I'm sure you've got a story to tell about this yourself. We all do. But sadly for me, it was not the worst. What came next was a lot worse. The war. Nothing prepares you for that, especially when it's your people, your country, and your family. It shattered something in me that I did not even realize was so fragile. That basic belief that people are, at their core, good. The pandemic was global, and yes, we were all thrown into it. It was awful, but there was that sense that we all dealt with it together. And there was nobody to blame for it, really, unless you are into conspiracy theories. But the war is different. It's when one group of people chooses to hurt the other. And that is something really difficult to comprehend. And when the people getting hurt are your loved ones, your family, your friends, your home, that changes you. I talked about how war affected me in my earlier video. Have a look if you haven't seen it yet. But in short, it broke my heart and it broke my trust in a lot of things. During that time, I was actually grateful to have a job. It gave me something to do. It gave me that structure to hold on to. I had to wake up every morning, log in, reply to emails, tick all the boxes. It did not particularly feel meaningful, but it was a nice thing to have in the background. But life coaching, I had to walk away from it. Not because I stopped believing in helping people, but because I stopped believing in people, full stop. And all the self-development stuff which felt so empowering before, now just felt hollow and on the surface. Hearing about all of those things like journaling, affirmations, manifesting your new life made me really angry. It almost made me feel sick because I was thinking, how is this supposed to help when the whole world seems to be falling apart? The only place I felt like myself at the time was my gym. I know it might sound a little bit like a cliche, but it was so nice for me to just take 1 hour away from all my thoughts, from news headlines, and just be with my body and the movement. In fact, every time my therapist would ask me this question, if you did not have to work, what would you do? My answer was always the same. I would move, I would stay active, I would go to the gym, hiking, cycling, going for a walk in the park, anything but sitting indoors. I always loved exercise, but never once I thought of it as something that I could do for a living. That was something I just did after work, something that kept me physically healthy but mentally too. But then I discovered aerial fitness. And oh my god, I got hooked. The grace, the strength, the challenge, it felt like the whole new world had opened up for me. So I started taking more classes, attending more trainings, and following the spark really. And when an instructor course opportunity came up, I thought, why not? And that's exactly what I meant when I mentioned trusting the universe earlier. Because the old me would have said, come on, course, what? It was not in the plan. If this is something you want to do, include it in the next year's plan, put it at the top of your goals, and see where you can fit it in terms of your priorities. But at that moment, my life was already kind of in pieces. And I thought, it could not hurt. I don't know anyway what I'm going to do in the future, because at the time I kind of abandoned most of my plans and I did not have any plan. So I thought, okay, aerial course, let it be. I finished the course about a month later. And at the same time, I was told at my job that my contract was not going to be extended. I was not expecting that. That was the first time in my life that walking away from the job was not my decision. It was made for me. And to be honest with you, at first I was devastated. It felt like a massive blow, especially after everything that I've been through, the war, losing my brother, and it just all felt a bit too much. My confidence and self-esteem took a serious hit. But when I told my fellow instructors at the gym what had happened, their reaction was like, that's great, you will have so many opportunities to teach some classes. Whilst my brain went like, what? Wait, no, I was not planning to change career. And isn't it a little bit late to change career to a fitness instructor at 40? But here we are. I started 2024 with no job, with no plans, and a fresh aerial fitness instructor diploma at my hands. And I had a completely empty calendar, which honestly gave me a massive anxiety. Fast forward a year and a half into working at the gym. And now I teach 8 to 10 classes a week. I have my regular students, I love teaching them all and see them progress, but I also work on my own skills and I'm improving and learning all the time. And honestly, it brings me so much satisfaction. It feels like I'm finding that meaning again, like I'm rebuilding my belief in people. Because I get to work with so many wonderful human beings. And it just feels so much more fulfilling than sitting at my desk in my old banking job. I don't know what the future holds for me, and I am okay with it. For once in my life, I'm not trying to fit myself into a 5-year plan. I'm just going with the flow and see what happens. If any of this resonates with you, let me know. Have you ever thought of changing career but felt maybe it was too late, too risky, too difficult? Or maybe you are one of those people who actually took a leap of faith. Let me know about your story in the comments below. I would love to hear about it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.